Are you catfishing someone right now? Okay, yes, but I can explain. Will and I have been buddies since we were kids, but lately it seemed like he'd been distancing himself. I'd ask to hang out and he'd tell me he was busy. He was on his phone all the time and was weird about it when I asked who he was texting. Stuff like that. One time I was at his house and I saw he was logged onto a Discord server for a video game we used to play together a lot. I said, "Whoa, I haven't thought about that game in ages. Should we dig it out?" He smiled for the first time in ages and seemed pretty excited about that. So we played together for a while. At one point, he paused the game and said, "Op, can I tell you something?" And I said, "Yeah, man, of course." But then after a few seconds he just said, "Never mind," and started the game back up. I was frustrated because clearly something was bothering him and I couldn't stand not knowing any longer. So when I got home that night, I made a new Discord profile and joined that server that he was on. Over the next few weeks, I made a point of slowly interacting with him more and more on the server. I would react to all his posts and respond to his jokes and stuff like that. Since I know him really well, it was easy for me to post a few comments that I knew he'd respond to. One day, I mentioned that I couldn't get past this one level that he and I struggled with for ages when we were kids. He said, "Oh, I know a trick for that. Do you want me to DM you?" After that I was in. What started as just DMing about the game turned into talking about our lives. Well, his life, and my fake one. I told him I was a guy his age who lived across the country. He talked about me, and how close we were. Aw, thanks buddy, but things had been weird recently because there was something he wasn't telling me. Finally, he dropped the bomb. He's gay, and he didn't know how to tell me. I immediately went all in telling him, "Oh, man, you should tell my name. I bet he'd be cool about it. He sounds like an alright guy." And he just kept saying that he wasn't sure. I'm not really sure what I've ever done to give Will the impression that it would be a problem for me if he was gay. I probably said some stupid poop when we were younger, but who doesn't? I guess he really internalized it though, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, we kept talking over the next few weeks. It got harder and harder to keep it a secret from Will, because I was always paranoid that I was going to see him in school and accidentally reference a message he had with the other me. So I started keeping a notebook just to keep track of what I'd said to him as human me and what I'd said as catfish me. I could tell this whole thing was getting way out of control, but I couldn't get myself to stop. I was spending hours a day on this account talking to Will, and I don't know, I was just really hooked on our conversations. He was opening up to me a way he never had before about problems with his family and with school and stuff. Just telling me stuff that guys aren't supposed to talk about with each other. I didn't want to let go of that. One night I told him I was going to bed and he said, "Night buddy." XO. I stared at that for a while waiting to feel freaked out, but instead I felt something very different, and I realized that holy crap, I was developing feelings for him. I'd never felt anything like that for anyone, guy or girl. And like, it's Will. It's not like there's any doubt of whether he's a good guy. I know him better than I know anyone, especially now. So before I could talk myself out of it I sent him a heart emoji. Stuff ramped up after that. It didn't get dirty or anything, he'd still never seen a picture of me, and he'd never asked, but we just got really close and said a lot of romantic type things to each other. On the one hand I was like crushing so hard and on cloud 9, but on the other I felt awful seeing Will every day and not being able to touch him and knowing I was lying to him. But he seemed so happy all the time. Because of me. Well, sort of because of me. I had no idea what I was going to do. Update 1. Well, it happened. Last weekend, Will was at my house and he found it. The notebook. He thought it was notes for our chemistry class. It's not like he was snooping, but there it all was in black and white what I had told him as my catfish name, and what I had told him was me. It didn't take a genius to piece it together, and unfortunately Will is brilliant. I'll never forget the look on his face. He was so betrayed. He thought I'd created the whole profile to out him and that I was making fun of him. I tried to tell him that wasn't what was going on and I was never laughing at him and I would never tell anyone the conversations we'd had, but he wasn't listening and I can't blame him. He left right after that and he won't answer my calls. He's deleted his Discord account. I feel horrible and I miss him so much and I don't know what to do. I've gotten so used to talking to him for hours every day. I don't know how to fix this. Update 2. Will finally agreed to talk to me. I don't know how anyone can be that forgiving, but that's Will for you. I explained to him why I created the account, that I was worried about him, that I didn't know how else to reach him and that I knew it was wrong and I was sorry. I'd printed out some of my favorite messages between me and him to try to show him that, I don't know, that I recognized that they were important and they actually meant something to me. And then I showed him a page of the notebook he hadn't seen. If he'd opened it from the back instead of the front, he would have seen a whole page where I'd just written his name, over and over and over again. I said, "I don't know if you can forgive me. I don't think I could forgive me, but I'm still going to be so grateful for you because you found a part of me I didn't know existed." Did I practice that line ahead of time? Oh yes. Did it work? Oh yes. Your boy got kissed. And holy crap, man, nothing has ever come close to that. Nowhere freaking close. He still teases me all the time about being an internet predator, but it's fine. I deserve it, as long as he keeps kissing me.